Today's video is requested by Ye Old Asian. If you have any topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to They Will Kill You. Hit the like button and request any topics you'd like to learn about in the comments section below. Cattle are large domesticated hoofed animals and the best known members of the Bovinae subfamily. Cows is a term frequently used to collectively refer to both domestic bovine genders, but particularly describes the female of the species, while the males are known as bulls. There are many different types of cow breeds and their size and characteristics vary accordingly. They can be genetically hornless or feature spectacular horns like the African Ankole-Watusi cows or the Texas Longhorns. Some males, like those from the Chianina breed, may exceed 3,500 pounds in weight and 6 feet in height. Cows can often be seen grazing together in groups called herds. Their bodies are well adapted for their herbivorous diets, with powerful tongues and strong lower front teeth. They have 4-chambered stomachs, which help them process food more efficiently. Females have large udders with 4 teats and produce milk for several months after giving birth to a calf. Cows are among the earliest forms of wealth, as they were domesticated as all-purpose animals. Nevertheless, despite having a long history of human interaction and owning a docile reputation, cows can actually be more dangerous than you think. Number 8. Herd of feral bulls terrorizing hikers in California. In March 2018, a herd of feral bulls were reportedly terrorizing hikers exploring the Sand to Snow National Monument near Palm Springs, California. A tour guide, Don Line, was allegedly charged at by a bull with its horns. The 63-year-old grabbed a fence post he was carrying and reportedly hit the bull in the side of the head, managing to escape the attack. The feral herd of about 150 bulls was said to have also charged at visitors venturing too close. The cattle were also reportedly destroying the habitats with their hooves and feeding. Officials were working on an eradication plan at the time the news was published. Number 7. Saffron Anderson. A 44-year-old woman living in Chale on the Isle of Wight was attacked by a rampaging cow. Saffron Anderson was walking her 2 dogs near her home in June 2017 when she was brutally struck by a cow from a nearby herd. After striking the woman repeatedly to her head, abdomen, and side, the cow launched Anderson off her feet, throwing her into a hedge. She managed to escape after alerting her dog, who came over, barking to scare the cow away. Anderson was taken to the hospital after suffering severe cuts and bruises all over her body. Cows were domesticated 8,000 to 10,000 years ago from a breed of wild cattle known as aurochs, which became extinct around the 1600s due to the spread of domestic herds and overhunting. Nowadays, cows are found from the dry inland of Australia to the north of Canada and Russia. Antarctica is the only continent they're not found on. Cows have always been regarded as incredibly useful animals. Their meat, called beef, is eaten. Milk can be consumed in a variety of different forms, like cheese or yogurt, and it's often the primary ingredient in many recipes. Cow breeds can also be distinguished by whether they're used for beef or milk. A cow's hide is used as leather in the manufacturing of shoes, clothing, and accessories. Oxen are castrated males used as work animals. They're still used in certain parts of the world for pulling carts or plows. Oxen can pull heavier weights than horses for longer periods of time, and although much slower, they're less likely to startle. Bulls have been involved in entertainment such as bull riding and bullfighting, the latter being highly criticized by animal rights groups. In Hinduism, cows are sacred and deeply respected. In fact, there was a time in India when killing a cow was punishable by death. Number 6. Jackie Beale. Jackie Beale, a 48-year-old woman from Wirksworth, Derbyshire, suffered broken ribs and a punctured lung after being attacked by cows. Walking her dog in May 2017, she came across cattle with their calves. About 8 cows attacked Beale, tossing her from one side to another. She managed to escape to safety, but sustained severe injuries and needed stitches to her face. Beale later told a media outlet she didn't think she would survive the attack. Number 5. Nathan William Paris. In October 2017, 72-year-old farmer Nathan William Paris from Georgia was attempting to move a cow when it rammed him against a fence. The force of the impact was so great that his chest was crushed. First responders attempted to revive him to no avail, and although transported to hospital, he died on arrival. Bulls are particularly dangerous, and certain breeds, such as the Spanish fighting bull, are known for their combination of aggression, stamina, and strength. Bulls are bigger than cows, with thicker bones, very muscular necks, and large bony heads. A charging bull is one of the most intimidating displays of power in the animal kingdom. It will at the very least shatter bones or cause internal organ damage. There's a common misconception that the color red angers them. Cattle are red-green colorblind, and it's actually the movement of the matador's cape that causes a reaction from them. Bulls may have a well-earned reputation for aggression, but cows aren't to be trifled with either. Cows will fiercely defend their calves, and since they often weigh over 1,000 pounds, along with their horns, it's not hard to imagine the damage they can inflict. Group attacks are surprisingly well coordinated, as upon sensing danger, the cows gather in a circle, all facing outwards with their young kept inside. They'll lower their heads, stamp the ground, and if they feel threatened, some will lead the charge. Cows can ram, trample, kick, throw you in the air with their horns, or gore you, and any one of these attacks can be fatal. Number 4. Marion Claude. A 61-year-old teacher from Derry, Northern Ireland, was killed by a cow in front of her grandchildren. Marion Claude and her family were on holiday near the village of Belford in Northumberland. They were on a walk on April 3, 2016, when they saw about 20 cows and calves running towards them. Marion tried to stay out of their way by pressing herself against a fence. However, the cows ran right towards her and began charging at her chest repeatedly. She was catapulted over the gate and suffered a broken neck. She died 2 days later. Number 3. Mike Porter. Brothers Mike and John Porter were walking their dogs on a public footpath near Bradford-on-Avon, Wiltshire, southwest England in May 2013. They were in a field when they saw about 30 cows approaching and surrounding them. The animals soon began to trample the two men. While John managed to escape with severe injuries, 65-year-old Mike Porter was knocked down. He eventually escaped and emergency services were called, but Mike later died from internal bleeding. His older brother John, 73, suffered multiple rib fractures, contusions, and a punctured lung, but survived. Cows aren't predators, so don't naturally chase after their meals and are usually accustomed to the presence of people. However, these animals won't shy away from confrontation if they feel threatened. If you have to walk through a field where grazing cows are present, there are a few things you can do to avoid an attack. Walk slowly, speak in a calm voice, and don't make sudden moves that may be perceived as a sign of aggression. Make sure they see you so that you don't surprise them, but avoid making direct eye contact. Don't approach calves, as their mothers are very protective of them. If you have a dog, keep it under control at all times. A lot of incidents happened when cows reacted to a chasing dog and charged the owner as well. Let the dog go if you have to, as it can take care of itself. If you see a cow charging at you, Run in a zigzag pattern and get an obstacle like a rock or a tree between you and the animal as soon as possible. Punching or kicking the muzzle may prove effective, and avoid making them feel cornered or confined. Many incidents occur where people were smashed against the sides of fences, gates, and barns. Number 2. Cows, deemed most dangerous large animals in Britain. In November 2015, cows were deemed to be the most dangerous large animals in Britain by an agricultural committee, according to figures published by the Health and Safety Executive, HSE. 74 people had been killed by cows and bulls in a 15-year period. While 56 of the deaths occurred at work on farms, the remaining 18 involved members of the public. Number 1. Melissa Melville. 25-year-old Melissa Melville was on a trip to Rajasthan, India on February the 15th, 2018. She was walking to her hotel when she saw a stray cow. She was amused by its sizable hump and began singing "My Humps" by the Black Eyed Peas. The cow seemed angered by this singing and charged at her. Melville was headbutted, and the impact was so strong she was thrown back and landed on her knees. She was left with severe cuts on her face and shoulder.
Humphrey had attacked him through a series of vicious bites. Moments later, the 1.2-ton bull dragged Els in the river and held him underwater until he drowned. Wildlife experts believe that the attack happened because Humphrey had reached the age when male hippos challenge each other over territorial dominance, and that he had perceived Els as a threat.